Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Saturday, March 29th. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and we are ready for a big Saturday slate as it is. They're even bigger, it feels, at this time of year as we get closer and closer to the playoffs. There's only 3 regular season Saturdays left here in the NHL this season. So the games are becoming more and more critical. We've got 11 games on tap for this Saturday, and we will get to those in just a moment. But first, we'll look back quickly on last night as far as the Friday card is concerned. We have to start with Vancouver-Columbus. That game was batshit crazy, insane. I don't know what else to call it. It was just an unbelievable game between two teams desperate for points. Back and forth it went. No lead was safe. Credit to the Jackets, who got off to a brutal start, down 3-0 in the first period of that game, and somehow managed to rally all the way back, get the game tied 6-6. And you could tell Vancouver has been on the road for a while because they played really a sloppy game, made a lot of mental mistakes, a lot of physical mistakes. And those are the kind of mistakes you make when you're, a little bit run down, a little bit fatigued. And Vancouver certainly fell victim to that. Insane stuff. I mean, in the third period alone, that game after 2 periods was 4-3 Vancouver. Vancouver goes up 5-3. It looks like the game's over. Columbus responds with not 1, not 2, but 3 unanswered, including 2 goals in 22 seconds to turn a 5-4 deficit into a 6-5 lead. You think, maybe they're going to hang on. And then no, 23 seconds after that, Aatu Räty, who scored 2 goals last night, tied it for Vancouver. Thankfully for those that had the draw, we got that game somehow to overtime. So it was great to see that. About as easy as it gets with the over 5.5, the best bet for the show yesterday for me. So we're happy with that. But Columbus finds a way and gets it done. Gets the win in the shootout. An unbelievably gutsy, resilient 2 points for the Columbus Blue Jackets, who are suddenly very much alive again with these back-to-back victories this week in the wild card race, especially seeing Montreal lose a couple of games in a row here. And for Vancouver, look, still a pretty good road trip overall. You're going to be disappointed you were up 3-0 and you couldn't win, but you still got a massive point in that game last night to help your cause. You couldn't have afforded to not get any points, especially with St. Louis continuing to win the way they have. So credit to Vancouver for at least getting a point out of that game, but just absolute insanity there at Nationwide Arena, and a 7-6 win and just a thrilling hockey game for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Florida wins in Brad Marchand's debut, 2-1 in overtime against Utah. The overs unfortunately fell short there, but it was one of those games where Utah really tried to tighten things up. You could tell after the 8-0 debacle against Tampa Bay, but almost a storybook ending. The only thing that would have made it even more of a fairy tale finish would have been Brad Marchand scoring the game winner, but he does assist on it, setting up Sam Bennett for the overtime game-winning goal, and Florida gets a 2-1 win. They now retake sole possession of first in the Atlantic, leapfrogging Toronto by 1 point. So a nice win for Florida. And they now lead the Atlantic, although that thing is going to go right down to the wire with them, the Leafs and the Lightning. Carolina 4-1 against Montreal. Well, Montreal did what we wanted from them. We said score a goal in the first period. They did that. We all liked Montreal to score in the first, and that's all they got as they were shut down the rest of the way, and a 4-1 win for Carolina. And a bargain bin special winner. We said he was going to score eventually. He's been close. He's been buzzing. He's had chances, and he did finally score, although it was technically Caden Gooley's goal, putting it in past his own goaltender, but Jackson Blake was the last Carolina player to touch the puck, so he gets credit, and we'll take it for the bargain bin special of the night. Winnipeg shuts out New Jersey 4-0. Very disappointing from the Devils, but a solid win there for Winnipeg. Vegas 5-3 over Chicago. More issues defensively for Chicago. That's just what you're going to see from them the rest of the way, because we've seen it all season. But they get the 5-3 win, Vegas, there in that game. And then Anaheim with a huge comeback against the woe-begotten New York Rangers. Terrible loss for the Rangers, but it's not shocking. We've seen them cough up leads before. And here's another team, Anaheim, showing a little bit of what they're made of lately. They've been playing some competitive hockey. They've been solid on Oma. And Leo Carlson, man, we've talked about him. He's starting to heat up. Cutter Gauthier has been good for them. And obviously a huge comeback win for them against the Rangers. And like John Massey said, there's a great loss for the Rangers. People are overreacting. Bad loss? No, John Massey's saying it's a great loss. He doesn't want this dumpster fire anywhere near the playoffs, was his exact words. And I can't blame him at this point. That is for sure. Another just dreadful ending to a game for the New York Rangers. Alex, thoughts on it? It was only a few games, but man, what an entertaining game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you talk about, and I said it, on the breakdown yesterday with that Vancouver Columbus game, I said everything you wanted to know about draw season pertains to this game, and that's one of the crazier ones. But it was an absolute battle where both teams knew in that third period they have to come away with points, and you saw that effort, you saw that desperation. Where oftentimes we see in these games where it's tied already, it's a slower paced game, and everything just comes to a grinding halt in the third. There's still games where you got teams that are showing some fight, showing some life, and they need the points. They go back and forth, and it takes, like I said, 60 minutes ain't enough. That's what it says on the back of the T-shirt for a reason. And not only overtime, but a shootout as well in that game. That's just entertainment all around. Even if you didn't have a bet in that one, that's just exciting hockey to watch this time of year, and that's what makes hockey so great this time of year too. Another game that was interesting as far as bets go was Vegas Chicago. Now it just seemed like the regular whole hum Chicago fights early and then they fade out. And if that was the case, you were able to make some good money off of that. The over 6 cashing in, and I said first period over, we're going to look for that in game. Did grab a plus price, didn't come through. Got Chicago to score in the first period, but then. That's where you play in the second period gift, the second period over, which cashed in spades. Both teams to score. So this was a great live game and ended up being a nice casher for the night. And then Montreal and Carolina, like I said, that was as easy as it got for Montreal. That was my best bet winner. Needed a goal from them in the first 20 minutes. We get it in 23 seconds into the contest. And then you turn around and hit your bargain bin right there for the tie game. But Carolina just was on cruise control at that point, and that's a bad loss for Montreal. You got to show a little bit more fight and resilience in a game against a team that's a playoff team, already cemented. So like I said, it's just rough sledding ahead now, and it's a 3-horse race to try to finish top of the Atlantic. It's a 3-horse, seems like a 3-horse race now at this point. We could say for those wild card spots in the East as well.
No doubt. All right, let's get into Saturday. Huge card, 11 games. We will start with a game that starts at the top of the hour at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Buffalo and Philadelphia. Flyers minus pretty much actually even money here. Minus 110 both sides. 6 the total in this game. Flyers get the coach bump for one game at least. Bradshaw in the interim coach role, and they defeat the Montreal Canadiens on Thursday night. It was one of those games, too, where I noticed distinctly, and maybe this is just going to be, Bradshaw, of course, was part of the coaching staff with Torts, but I found Philadelphia was pushing pace even more in that game against Montreal. Almost like we want to really let these guys free, and let them be creative offensively, especially a guy like Matvei Mishkov, who, as we know, had some issues at times, clashed with Torts at times, and man, what a game. He was basically a missed, wide-open, empty net away from a hat trick against the Montreal Canadiens the other night. So very, very looked like a guy with new life, the way he played. Like I said, he could have had a hat trick had he not missed the empty net there at the end, but he had a phenomenal game. He had 2 goals and an assist, 3 points overall. In the win against Montreal. They had that quick start, 3-1 in the first period. Yes, the defense is still leaky for Philly as Montreal got back into that game and made it interesting, but they hung on and they got the 6-4 win over the Montreal Canadiens in that game. We'll see how this one plays out. Now, we know we've been taking the team totals for the opponent of the Philadelphia Flyers of late. This game, I certainly wouldn't talk anyone out of it, but I think both teams are going to score here in this game. I mean, I think Philadelphia certainly, it's not like Buffalo is a juggernaut defensive team, although I will say this, they've won 3 in a row, and they have allowed 3 goals or less in all 3 of those victories, and all 3 of them have been started by the old veteran, James Reimer, who has actually done a very nice job here for this Buffalo Sabres team during this 3-game win streak. He started all 3 games, and he's played pretty well. We expect him to be in as the starting goaltender this afternoon, but that is not confirmed yet. Ersson right now projected for Philadelphia. That also not confirmed just yet. Sabres still without, of course, Josh Norris. He remains out for them moving forward indefinitely. We'll see how this one plays out. But this was an over by Fecta for me to get the day started rather than either side. I mean, I understand the reasons to back Philly. They showed a little pep in their step, little energy boost in the first game with Bradshaw. And they beat a pretty good team, a team battling for their playoff lives. So it was a good win for Philadelphia. Make no mistake about it. And like I said with Buffalo, they've been good at home. They've been a little bit more susceptible on the road. So the lean is certainly to Philadelphia. But I would just rather trust both teams to be able to produce offensively. And I think both have the capability here to do that. So an over by Fecta here for me, Sabres and Flyers. The early start would be the one maybe concern about the goals here. You never know, with these real early games, how it's going to go from a total standpoint. But Philadelphia, man, look, they're still a mess defensively. But if we're going to get a little bit of an infusion offensively and a motivated, free of all burden, if you will, Matvei Michkov, who has the potential to be the best offensive player on this team when he's playing at his best. And we saw signs of that against Montreal. It's hard to envision there not being offense here between these two teams. And again, it's that late season angle in play as well. Two teams not going anywhere, not going to the playoffs. Nobody's blocking shots on March 29th when you're not making the playoffs, not at a consistent level anyway. So over by Fecta for me to start the day. Alex, what do you think here? Buffalo, Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think this is one where we can wait and grab the over by Fecta in game. Even though, like I said, it's an early start, so you always want to see what the pace is. But these are two teams that play early starts often, so that shouldn't really slow things up. I would lean toward the overs, and like I said, maybe even over trifecta. So maybe grab both teams to score first period pregame, and then look for better adjusted numbers. Try and get plus money. Try and get maybe a 5.5 just a few minutes into the contest.
And I'm going to go goal, assist, and over 1.5 points for Michkov. I really you saw it in one game right away. It's like almost like freedom now for him with Torts out of there. So I think that's significant, the way he played. So I'm going to go with that to start the day. That's the prop I like the most in that game for sure. Would be Michkov goal, Michkov assist, Michkov over 1.5 points. You could even sprinkle over 1.5 goals if you want to, because obviously he had 2 goals and nearly a hat trick against Montreal the other night. But it definitely looked like a player playing with a lot more freedom. There's no doubt, and a lot more harmony, if you will, without Torts there the other night, no doubt. And then a couple other things to mention as far as props. Juraj Kulich here is on a 6-game over shots on goal streak. Couturier, Tage Thompson, multi-game goal streaks. We've got 5-game point streak for Couturier, 4-game point streak for Michkov, 4-game point streak for Rasmus Dahlin as well for this Buffalo Sabres team. So definitely keep an eye on that, what he's been able to do. All right, next up, this is also a matinee affair. This is at 2 p.m. Eastern time. New York Islanders, Tampa Bay Lightning. We've got Tampa Bay minus 240, home favorites, 6 the total here in this game. Tampa Bay, I mean, what can you say about the Utah game? They just destroyed the poor Utah Hockey Club there, 8-0. It was an absolute beatdown, a rough road trip where they lost 2 out of 3, and then they come back home and they beat Pittsburgh and Utah cumulatively by the score of 14-1 in those 2 games. So a destruction for Tampa in both of those games. We'll see if they can keep that rolling here against the New York Islanders. It is worth noting these teams have only played each other once previously. It was in February, and it was here in Tampa, and the Islanders beat the Lightning 3-2 in overtime. So that is something to keep in mind. And the Islanders, obviously, in the more, well, Tampa Bay is battling for the Atlantic. They want the Atlantic. Toronto, Tampa, and Florida all want the Atlantic division because you're going to get a weaker opponent in the first round because of it if you win the division. So Tampa's playing for something. Islanders are playing for their playoff lives. They've lost 3 in a row against Calgary, Columbus, and Vancouver. And obviously the issues for them have been, well, actually defense, and Sorokin didn't have a good game, in my opinion, against Vancouver. There were a couple he got pulled in that game, and rightfully so. Sometimes you can be critical of Patrick Waugh's decisions when to pull the goalie. No criticizing that one. Sorokin, those were 2 weak goals that beat him, that made it 3-2 and 4-2 He didn't have it that night. He is back in net starting for the Islanders this afternoon. Vasilevsky projected for Tampa Bay. We'll see how that plays out in this one. I kind of think there's some value on the Islanders here, plus 200. It's not easy to go against Tampa at home. I'm going to sprinkle ever so slightly on the Islanders here. I like the draw more, quite honestly. I think it's a good draw candidate. I know Tampa's had it easy with Utah and Pittsburgh, but the Islanders do play hard. Now, they don't always play well, but I think this game has overtime potential. Again, they met in Tampa last month. The game went to overtime. So I like the draw. I'm going to sprinkle. I don't fully trust the Islanders, but I like the value of getting a plus, 200 type of price with a team that I know is going to go balls to the wall, and the Islanders are, because they're battling for their playoff lives. So we're going to dabble here with Islanders plus 200. Again, it's a great price. We're going to take the draw, and I'm definitely going to be on another Islanders full game over. We're riding this right till it doesn't, right till we can't, right till it stops. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Islander games are going over the total. We're consistently getting 5.5s with these totals. Although this total, I got it at 5.5 minus 120 overnight. It's moved to 6 at a lot of books, but at DraftKings, which has been a very common occurrence, you can still get 5.5 minus 130 over at DraftKings with the total here. So 3 bets for me. Smallest being the Islanders. The draw, the one I like the most, over 5.5 here, minus 130. Alex, what do you think here? Islanders, Lightning.
Yeah, I didn't grab that 5.5, so that's something I can try to wait for in game. But I like this draw quite a bit, and this is a great price. Plus 380 at FanDuel. I'm seeing plus 370 at Bet Online. So the two best prices I'm seeing. But this is a good spot. Like I said, both teams needing points. Both teams have played each other tight. Maybe this one you sprinkle, like I said, if you're looking at that over 3 correct score, you can get that plus 1,400 at FanDuel. 4 correct scores plus 2,700. So I take some small sprinkles with that, but I like the draw here. That's a good price and a good spot.
I'm glad. I love this game is 2 p.m. Eastern. We got a nice almost standalone game. I consider it a standalone game because Buffalo Philly means absolutely dick all. But this game, obviously Islanders and Lightning. It's nice position on the schedule. It's separate from everything else. And like I said, it's like going to be a game that both teams need points for different reasons. I mean, Tampa's going to be in the playoffs, but winning the division is very important for Tampa Bay. And obviously the Islanders just trying, obviously, to get into the playoffs themselves. Prop-wise for this game, there are some props that definitely are of interest to me here in this game. We've got, entering this game, Kucherov's on a 3-game goal streak, Braden Point 2-game goal streak. And then on point streaks, Hagel, 5 straight games with a point for Tampa Bay. Tony DeAngelo for goal and an assist. I mean, he's got a 4-game point streak from the blue line, if you can believe it, for the New York Islanders. So he has been chipping in lately for them. Bjorkstrand, Kucherov point, Gensel multi-game point streaks as well entering this game. I think I'm going to go back to the well here the price is still pretty solid. Simon Holmstrom, there's still very good value backing him to score alongside Horvat and Palmieri on that top line for the New York Islanders. So, I think that's worth a shot, in my opinion, as far as a goal prop. Nick Paul is back up to the second line with Cirelli and Hagel. So this could be the day to go to the old reliable there, Nick Paul, for the Tampa Bay Lightning, playing up on that second line. That's a pretty good game, and obviously this one is 4:30 p.m. It's the last of the afternoon games, 4:30 Eastern, a late afternoon game. St. Louis, Colorado. Colorado minus 200 home favorites, 5.5 the total. This is going to be the ultimate test for this 8-game win streak of the St. Louis Blues. Obviously, playing a quality team like Colorado that just came off a shutout win against the Los Angeles Kings 4-0 on Thursday night. So, like I said, this is where it's going to be a test here for Colorado, or St. Louis, rather, in this game. They've been absolutely phenomenal, obviously. They didn't play their best game against Nashville and still came back and won, powered by 2 goals from Dylan Holloway, who I've talked ad nauseum about, just have been phenomenal for them. But the way they've been scoring, that was the first time during the 8-game win streak that St. Louis did not score 4 goals, only 3 in that game against the Nashville Predators. We'll see if they can keep it rolling here in this game. One thing that's worth noting is in Colorado, these teams have kind of split the last 4 meetings in Denver. Colorado 1-2 and St. Louis 1-2. So St. Louis has had some success here in this building. We'll see if that continues here today against Colorado, who are playing great hockey. They play Calgary on Monday after this. St. Louis returns home to play Detroit after this game on Tuesday night. But they're finding ways to win. We expect Binnington and Blackwood to be the goaltending matchup here in this game. Neither confirmed. Really no change in the injury situations. The main ones are Kiviranta, Manson, and Eric Johnson for Colorado. Colton Parayko is the big one for St. Louis, but of course he's been out for a while. I think St. Louis has a chance in this game. The money line, I don't love it. I'd rather just trust St. Louis to get me 3 goals. And I will say this about St. Louis. They scored 3 against us, against Colorado back in February. It is worth noting. We've talked about this team total. It finally lost, by the way. St. Louis team total over 3. Well, it actually technically didn't lose for me on in the Nashville game because I had 3. So it pushed. But for the first time during this 8-game win streak, St. Louis did not get to the magic number of 4 goals. But in this game, all they need to do is get to 3 goals. And the team total is over 2.5 plus 106. I like that. I think they can get to 3 goals here. And I like that better than the money line. I don't know if St. Louis is going to win this game. But I think the team total over 2.5 plus 106. They have scored 3+ during this 8-game win streak. It's a good price. And I think Colorado, too, maybe a little defensive complacency. You know, you're coming off a shutout win against LA. That's another thing, too. That's what makes this spot a winnable spot for St. Louis. You got Colorado feeling good after a shutout win in their last game. So if St. Louis plays as hard and tenacious as they have for these last couple weeks, not saying they're going to win, but they're going to give themselves a chance at least in this game. I certainly lean with taking the plus 170. I like the team total, though, even more. Over 2.5 here with the Blues and the Avs, or with the Blues team total. Over 2.5 plus 106. Alex, what do you think here? St. Louis, Colorado.
Now, these are 2 teams that are running kind of alongside one another. They're both St. Louis trying to make the playoffs. Colorado trying to get themselves in position within the playoffs. Both on hot runs right now. This is a spot where I love the over. I know a lot of people would look at this game and instantly think under because it's 2 playoff teams, because this team's trying to kind of get things rolling in the right direction for the playoffs. This is going to be, I think, a barn burner. I think minus 120 with a 5.5 is a great price. Late that also would look at that St. Louis team total. Like I said, that's the best way to look at it rather than I know if you've been running the streak the entire time, then plus 170, you have to grab some piece of that. But if you haven't, or if you really feel like this could be a trickier spot because Colorado's a good team, then you're getting some great value with that over 2.5. So those are both my plays. But over 5.5, a little bit more than that St. Louis team total.
Yeah, I think the over, I might get there with that. Like I said, I keep thinking that these 5.5s with Colorado at home are great value for an over. Yeah. And now I said that about LA Thursday night and lost that one. And I used it as my best bet on the show and it lost. But LA, they're flighty offensively, especially on the road. You got to rate St. Louis, I think, a little bit more of a trustworthy team to, find the back of the net here in Denver this afternoon especially with everybody's playing well. Shen, Buchnevich, and of course Neighbors, and especially Holloway. I mean, they've just been phenomenal. They're getting production from various sources and better chance that they do some damage than LA did, obviously. The other night, and Colorado will do their thing. Like Colorado, as much as Binnington's been great, it's not many games where Colorado doesn't get at least 3 or 4 goals on home ice. So both teams probably contribute.
And don't let the series history, trick you out of that. I know 2-7-1 the last 10. This has been a heavy under series, but that's a lot of, like I said, St. Louis teams that didn't have much offensive punch to them. Where this is a much better offense. St. Louis has, like I said, with Colorado hot too. Yeah, there should be plenty of goals in this one, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Like I said, so over 5. I'm just going to go full game on this. No first period here on this one. Just full game here with St. Louis and Colorado with the over 5.5 here. Binnington, Blackwood expected. Of course, we got to look at Dylan Holloway, even though this is a step up opponent. I mean, what can you say? He's got 9 games in a row with a point, and the fucking prop is minus 112 on him to get a point. I mean, he's got 9 games in a row with a point. And I would go goal assist. I'd even take a shot over 1.5 points. That's how good that gets playing right now. Natchez is on a roll. Goal assist prop for him for Colorado. Brock Nelson, same thing. Jonathan Drouin's still my favorite prop right now for Colorado. He's playing very well at the moment for them. Yeah, Zach Bolduc is worth a shot on the St. Louis side, Terry. You're right. He's been stepping things up lately. Won't you be my neighbor? Jake Neighbors is on a 3-game point streak. Fowler and Makar, defensemen for their respective teams, they are on 2-game point streaks as well, entering this afternoon's affair. This is just such a tantalizing game because of the way St. Louis is playing right now. But can they match up mano a mano against a true elite team, cup contender like Colorado in Denver? That's what makes this game so appealing later on this afternoon. Looking forward, obviously, to seeing how it plays out. I'll throw another. We talked about Holloway, Drouin, Natchez, Nelson, Neighbors, all these guys that have been in great offensive form. I'll throw one out there down the board. Logan O'Connor for Colorado has scored in back-to-back games for them, and you can get obviously upwards of 900, 950 for him to score a goal in this game. So might be worth a shot there on Logan O'Connor based on what we've seen from him in these last 2 games for the Colorado Avalanche. All right, so those are the afternoon affairs. The rest of the games taking place will be night games starting in Minnesota, XL Energy Center. This is actually 5 p.m. local time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. We've got New Jersey and Minnesota. Minnesota minus 120, home favorites, 5.5 the total here in this game. Minnesota, nice win for them, 4-2 against Washington on Thursday. Much needed. After just a couple of duds that they've had. They needed a win in the worst way. They got it. Can they withstand that prosperity, though, and continue to win here against New Jersey? They certainly catch New Jersey in a tough spot, back-to-back here for this New Jersey Devils team, coming off the 4-0 shutout loss to the Winnipeg Jets, last night. Not a good performance, and didn't help too. And I would have been nice to have known this before I bet New Jersey last night that Luke Hughes was a late scratch. They're already without their best puck moving defenseman and Dougie Hamilton, and then you lose Luke Hughes as well. They just had no offense, and you're taking away your 2 best offensive defensemen right there. And he is day to day. He didn't play last night, lower body injury, and he may not play tonight either. We'll have to wait and see. But there's trouble getting the rush going now when you're without both Dougie Hamilton and Luke Hughes on that blue line for the New Jersey Devils. So, and you could see it kind of stuck in mud. They get the goose egg last night against Winnipeg. Markstrom in net, by the way, for the New Jersey Devils here on the back-to-back. We expect our guy Philip Gustafson. What's trouble in you, Gus? I think Philip Gustafson will be in net here for the Minnesota Wild. I kind of like Minnesota team total over 2.5 just because of the Markstrom's given up 3+ and 6-7 straight starts, something like that. Minnesota's not the offense we can always go to war with and trust night in and night out. But at 2.5 minus 130 for the Wild team total over, I think I'll dabble in that, assuming Markstrom starts, and I believe he will. So I'm going to take a look at that maybe a little bit. Not the money line. I don't want the money line on Minnesota, but the team total over 2.5. I'll take a little look into that. And I like this draw. This is another draw that I like. I mean, it very well could go to overtime. I do think New Jersey is going to show a little better fight after getting shut out last night. And I think it's a perfect situation where New Jersey and Minnesota, Oppo conferences, very good chance I think we see this game get past regulation. Alex, what do you think here? Devils, Wild.
Yeah, this game might end up being a pass for me, even though I do lean with that draw, but I'm seeing exactly at plus 300. It's not the best price for me. So with this being a heavier card, this is when I'll, obviously we'll be watching it since it's local and maybe look for something live, but this is a pass right now.
No doubt. Minus 134, actually. I got it at FanDuel. It was minus 130, the team total, Jonathan. It's minus 134 there, right? Still a good price, actually. Minus 134. You do have to shop around, though. Some books have minus 150 on it, or some even have minus 160. But there's minus 134 at FanDuel, minus 138 at Pinnacle, minus 145 at Bet365. So, again, shop around with that Minnesota team total. But like I said, varying prices. And, again, very important to have multiple accounts, multiple books. Why get minus 160 when you can get minus 134? Very important. Preserve your bankroll long term. That's what we always say, no doubt. Let me see if the line combinations are the same. I know he's cooled off and he's not going to score forever. But he is still, in the top line or second line for this team. 2 games in a row without a goal. But this is the place where he started his NHL career. Eric Howla. We're going to give him another shot here. Remember, he started his career with Minnesota way back in the day. So maybe a good time for him maybe to find the back of the net once again here for the New Jersey Devils. All right, next up as we continue along here, we've got, let me just bring up, there we go. We got lots of windows open. There we go. Vegas and Nashville. We got Vegas minus 160 road favorites, 6 the total, shaded to the under here in this game. Vegas on a back-to-back. They were in Chicago last night, a comeback victory over the Chicago Blackhawks. Now on a back-to-back. I don't really want to do much with Vegas in this spot, back-to-back, a little bit tricky. Nashville put up a good effort against St. Louis. That was a commendable effort for Nashville, but Nashville does Nashville things. Can't hold a lead. 2 quick goals, bang, just like that, to turn a 2-1 lead into a 3-2 deficit against St. Louis, and that was all she wrote. Predators finding yet another way to lose that game. We'll see how this one plays out. Don't love this spot for Vegas. Told you, unless I need something special to bet Nashville the rest of the season, and doubtful I'll find that. So nothing on the side for me in this game. Total, I think, is tricky too, because it could go either way. Nashville is a weird team. They could be in some 6-5 games. They could stay under like they did against St. Louis, and actually to keep St. Louis to 3 goals is a nice accomplishment for Nashville, given the way St. Louis has been scoring of late. So this is just a game where I don't have a whole lot pregame going into it. Samsonov projected to be the goalie for Vegas. We saw Aiden Hill last night, so I would expect Samsonov to be in net. Pietrangelo is still out for them. Hurdle is still out for them. UC Saros projected in net for Nashville. What do you think here in this one, Alex? Vegas, Nashville.
Yeah, this is one where I'm going to play both teams to score in the first period pregame and then try and grab plus money with the live in game. I think you got Vegas, like I said, second of back-to-backs, playing less than 24 hours in the same time zone. That may be, a spot where maybe Nashville can kind of take advantage and get a goal early. But then that kind of wakes up Vegas a little bit. So this could also be a spot where if Nashville scores first, we look to grab Vegas live on the money line at a plus price as well. So great live game, but I will be on that both teams to score in the first period pregame. Plus 158 I got. Price.
All right, first period. Both teams to score here for Alex with Golden Knights and with Predators. Prop wise, in this game, a couple of things. Brett Howden has scored in back-to-back games, so plus 550, maybe worth a shot. Dorofeyev, obviously, we've talked ad nauseum how good he's been lately for them. William Karlsson, a 3-game point streak. Michael Bunting for Nashville's picked it up, 2-game point streak. Evangelista, Brady Shea are on 2-game point streaks. Stone and Hannafin for Vegas, 2-game point streaks. So there's a couple of props to keep an eye on here.
Marchessault for Nashville.
That's right, against his old team. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously not been a great season for him personally, not just the team, but
right.
Certainly for one night.
This might be the night where he gets a little bit of a bump, a little bit of energy.
No doubt. I wouldn't talk anyone out of Marchessault props. Yeah, Evangelista up on the top line. I mean, he's getting opportunity with O'Reilly and Forsberg, so maybe something to look at there. A close shave Barbashev with Eichel and Stone. Barbashev is streaky, and you could see him maybe start to get going again because he scores and produces in bunches, and he's still playing on that top line with for the Vegas Golden Knights with Eichel and Stone. So to me, a chance maybe for Barbashev. I'm seeing glimpses of he's getting his offensive game kicked into high gear again. So Barbashev might be where he almost got that over 1.5 points last night for Alex
so
with
close.
his other bargain bin. Yep.
So close. So close. That was close. And then Ilya Mikheyev at the end of the game with literally on the doorstep getting stopped by Aiden Hill. We almost had both bargain bins last night.
Yeah, so close. That's what happens sometimes. Just like with Mishkov, the hat trick prop that I bet live Thursday, we almost had it, and he misses a wide open net. That's what can happen sometimes. All right, next up, we've got the Toronto Maple Leafs and Los Angeles Kings. We've got in this. Let me see. Oh, there we go. LA minus 145. Home favorites. The total 5.5 here in this game at Crypto.com Arena. Leafs continuing their California swing here in this game. LA obviously off a shutout loss to the Colorado Avalanche 4-0 on Thursday night. Toronto coming off their second loss this season to San Jose in a shootout. And to be honest with you, it was great to see Toronto come back and get the point in that game because it looked like they were absolutely going to lose in regulation. And then they have the miracle 2 goals in the last minute to tie that game and at least get a point. And every point is critical as they try to win the Atlantic Division. It's a tough one. I think Toronto's going to want to play a lot better. They're not going to be happy losing to San Jose, but I can't go against LA at home off a shutout loss. It's a situation where they've just been too strong at home, this LA team. So I'm not involved in the side, but I'm going to keep riding this with the Leafs road games overs. It's ridiculous at this point. It's incredible, these road games. And it's just been, I think 8-1 now is the run with the first period over alone and these road games for Toronto entering this game. And the full game overs have been strong as well. It's almost like they loosen up a little bit. Defense hasn't been as good on the road. Everything about Toronto's game defensively has not been as good on the road. 6-5 at San Jose, 4-3 at Utah, 7-4 at Colorado, 5-2 at Vegas, 6-5 at Pittsburgh. The one under was at the Rangers. Boston was a 5-4 game. Chicago on the road was a 5-2 game. This has been an extended run of overs, first and period and full game for Toronto on the road. So I'm counting it up right now. 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 7-1. Yeah, it's 8-1 full game over. 8-1 first period over as well. So yeah, I'm going over by Fecta here. Nothing on the side. Over by fact, maybe the draw. I could see it. East versus West. Both teams off losses, going to be looking to bounce back, play better. And I don't love, you're right, Jonathan, I don't love betting LA overs, especially at home, but I'm going to do so here. It's just been that strong with the Toronto road trends to the over. So for over 1.5 first, and you got both teams off losses. So both teams going to be, I think, chomping at the bit here. So over 1.5, over 5.5, and I might sprinkle on the draw here as well. Alex, what do you think here? Leafs, Kings.
There we go. Yeah, just looking through with the draw prices, not seeing anything that I really like in that. So I may end up passing on that. I'm seeing plus 310. Just trying to see what FanDuel has. Yeah, plus 320. So I'm more likely just going to roll with the over by factor there as well. Like I said, it is a little tough backing LA overs at home. Like I said, I think the Leafs road over trend kind of trends that one out. And like I said, with an earlier start, I think this could be a game where we see some back and forth, some good offense. So I will go with that over. I'm a little bit heavier maybe on the first period over than the full game over, but we can always grab more with the prices that are minus $1.10 for each. You always try and grab some plus money in game as well.
Yeah. That's a solid point. As far as the history, by the way, we've got Toronto's won 3 of the last 4 between these teams. They did win in LA last year. We'll see if they can duplicate that here in this game. But yeah, we are expecting to see Stolarz and Kemper, but that's not confirmed yet. And Craig Berube was very non-committal yesterday about which goalie's going to get which game, because they're in Anaheim tomorrow on Sunday night to wrap up the California swing. And I'm kind of thinking they also might save Stolarz for Anaheim because that's one of his former teams. So it might be Woll again here tonight against the Los Angeles Kings. So that's why it's not set in stone, in my opinion, that it's going to be Stolarz tonight for the. They might want to put him in there against Anaheim, his former team, tomorrow. So we'll see, but not been confirmed as of yet. We know it'll be probably Kemper for LA, obviously. As far as props for this game, I just want to point out that Tavares has been on a roll. It's hard not to bet him in some form. Goal prop, assist prop, 5-game point streak. Marner, Matthews, 3-game point streaks. Hungry Nyes. Matthew Nyes, 2-game point streak. Nylander, 2-game point streak for Toronto. Like I said, goal streak at 4 now for John Tavares, and still getting a good price, plus 240 for Johnny T to score for the Leafs here in this game for a guy that's on a 4-game point streak. For a 4-game goal streak, I should say, for them right now. Nick Robertson in California, yeah, and this is the game I could see him stepping up and scoring. I do like the Nick Robertson prop tonight here. He is, we should have family in attendance here from the Robertson clan. I would be shocked if they're not there in the arena watching him tonight. So onus to, I think step up and maybe find the back of the net. So yeah, this is probably a good night to take a shot with the Nick Robertson prop here based on the situationals that kind of favor it here in this game tonight. All right, next up as we continue along here, we've got Columbus and Ottawa. Ottawa minus 200 home favorites, 6 the total. I mean, how does Columbus play tonight off that barn? That was an absolute barn burner last night between them and the Vancouver Canucks, back and forth. Somehow they're down 3-0. They come all the way back, and they end up winning that game in a shootout. 7-6. I mean, just an absolutely epic, crazy game last night between the Jackets and the Canucks. So a very tough turnaround now going on the road against a rested Ottawa team that's playing well themselves, that's also battling to maintain their hold on the first wild card spot in the Eastern Conference. So, yeah, it is a bit of a tough turnaround here for Columbus following that game last night against Vancouver. We'll see how they fare. Ottawa, meanwhile, they beat Detroit 4-3 bouncing back from the loss they suffered against the Buffalo Sabres 3-2. We'll see if they can keep that going here back home, where they do have a very good home record this year. And we know Columbus hasn't been the same team on the road. So very tricky spot for Columbus. I like the Ottawa team total rather than I do like Ottawa to win this game, but I'm going to go the team total route with Ottawa. Obviously, when you're talking minus 200, I'm not interested, but I think they can score 4 goals here against this Columbus team. And Tarasov is still a no bueno for me. I don't trust Daniil Tarasov fully. The stats remain mediocre at best for him in between the pipes. So I like the Sens team total here in this game. Linus Ullmark confirmed in net for Ottawa. This is another one I would lean as well to the over by Fecta, but I think focusing on the Ottawa team total over might even be stronger. I actually could see this being something like 4-1, 4-2 maybe for Ottawa here. I don't know. I could see Columbus kind of having a tougher time here in this kind of a situation on a back-to-back, and after the kind of, energy they had to exert last night in the game against Vancouver. So, like I said, the over by Fecta might be small sprinkle for me, but the bet I like the most is Sens team total here, over 3.5. And again, you can get a pretty good price on that right here around the minus 120 range with that. Alex, what do you think here? Jackets, Sens.
This is another good live game. This is one I have circled to grab. More so the full game over live, but I would look for the first period over as well. I think because of the fact that Columbus played in that kind of a high-octane game, maybe their legs kind of give out from under them, but especially later in the contest. So this is one where if I see the pace early, I'll try and grab a first period over, but I'm more than likely waiting for a scoreless first 10 minutes to maybe try and grab it over 4.5 around the pick 'em price or plus money price, and then go from there.
No doubt. And like I said, definitely going to be interesting to see how this one plays out here. But like I said, tough spot, kind of the way I see it here for the Columbus Blue Jackets, who, again, have had their issues on the road, as we know, all year. They did beat the Islanders, but like I said, this is just very, very difficult, in my opinion, tonight for the Jackets here, with Tarasov in net, who, like I said, has not exactly been great this year either. All right, next up, oh, my goodness. We got to do something about these ABC Saturday games. We got to do something to start flexing some of this shit. My goodness. I mean, Boston, Detroit, that's the best you could pick out of this great lot of games, and we're stuck with Boston, Detroit being the ABC game here tonight. I mean, Detroit is still in the playoff mix, so I guess with them involved, at least there's something, that's at stake here. But, I mean, we got to get Boston the hell out of these national TV spots now that they stink. We've got Detroit minus 200 home favorites, 6 the total here in this game. And yes, this is your ABC Saturday night game here in this one. I mean, Boston, it's a leap of faith to bet this team right now. They are a disaster. They are a tire fire, dumpster fire, whatever you want to call it. That was a horrendous road trip for them in California. Horrific. San Jose game was a debacle. LA game was a debacle. Anaheim was even worse. Just awful stuff from the Boston Bruins there. So there's no chance in hell I'm betting them. Do you want to lay this price, though, with Detroit? That's the question you got to ask yourself. With their situation being what it is, their goaltending is shaky. Defensively, they're shaky. Talbot's going to be in net. He's been shaky of late. I do think Detroit scores 4. I do like the team total for Detroit, but there's not a chance I would take Detroit money line at this price. But they should score 4 on this Boston team. Boston has let go of the rope defensively. There's no doubt about it. They have totally let go of the rope defensively. They are not even trying at that end of the ice right now. They're totally discombobulated, blowing coverage left and right, and you're seeing it in the results. 6 goals allowed to Anaheim, 7 goals allowed to LA, 5 goals allowed to Vegas, 6 to Tampa, 6 to Ottawa. Most of these games, they're giving them up 4 goals or more. Detroit in a spot where they got to get 2 points here. If you're going to be any sort of chance to be a playoff team, you got to get 4 goals here against this sad sack Boston Bruins outfit and defense. So I like the team total for Detroit, but I also like over by Fecta here in this game because Boston's a mess defensively. I think it's, yeah, exactly. I think it's just going to, I think Boston can score though. And, I know they've been awful defensively, but they still have some offensive capabilities, and Detroit is just going to give Boston chances to score with just how weak their blue line is. I mean, it was Seider's not playing up to his level defensively. Edvinson's still young. Sherratt's not a top pair. We've gone over this before. Justin Hall is a mistake waiting to happen, and he's on the second pair. Boston should be able to contribute a little bit here. So I'm going to go with the Red Wings team total on its own and over by Fecta here with Boston, Detroit. Alex, what do you think here? Bruins, Red Wings.
Yeah, this is one where I really like the first period over. I think this is a great price and a good spot. Like I said, national TV, Detroit still kind of fighting for their lives. This could be a spot where I would maybe look for correct score first period, 2-0 Red Wings as well. That's a smaller lean, but I just like that first period over. I said Boston could score early, certainly with Cam Talbot in that too. And here's the thing too, obviously you're hamstrung now with Mrazek still being hurt. But, I still don't understand why they're going with Talbot over Lyon more often. Lyon has played in this, especially in this particular spot. We just saw this, 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, or right now at this time with him in Florida, where he was helping a team try to get back into the playoff race. And then he was successful with that team, of course. They were in a better shape. But, as they said, you're rolling with Talbot, so it's dicey. So I can't take a side here. I'm only looking with totals, but liking that first period over more. Maybe grab the over 5.5 in game a few minutes in.
All right, there you go. Liking live looks here as far as the over here for this one for Alex in this one. Yeah, there are a lot of good props. I expect there to be some goals here in this game. Morgan Geekie for Boston's the one guy I would bet from on their side. He's got goals in back-to-back games. He's had a great season for them overall. We have point streaks going on right now for Vlad Tarasenko. That's what he's there for, to score. JT Comp for 2 games in a row with a point. Lindholm, Zacha, and Geekie for Boston are on 2-game point streaks. So Husnudinov, I like what Aaron's thinking there. I still think there's great value on him considering where he's played. Playing up the lineup, for the Bruins right now, playing with Middlestat and Pasternak on the top line. So he's getting opportunities for Boston. I like Casper, the friendly betting ghost, as well. He's starting to heat up a little bit. DeBrincat, Larkin, and Kane, Todd McClellan loading up that top line. They've been pretty solid the last few games, but I like Casper centering that second line with Raymond and Rasmussen. Like I said, I think he's been starting to get his offense back going again like he was a few weeks ago. All right, Calgary, Edmonton now. Battle of Alberta. We've got Edmonton minus 180, home favorite, 6 the total. This is a pretty straightforward decision to take a piece of Calgary here for me. Edmonton's a team that's kind of, battling injuries, kind of trying to stay cautious here down the stretch. They don't want to risk getting anybody else hurt. They're already without Leon. They're already without Connor. They're already without Stuart Skinner, due to injury. And you can tell, they're just, I don't think they're all that crazy focused on winning hockey games right now. They want to keep everybody healthy. And they've certainly been playing like it, this Edmonton Oilers team. You got Calgary off a frustrating loss to Dallas where they should have won. Casey DeSmith stole 2 points from the Calgary Flames the other night. Calgary probably should have won that game. Calgary's playing for their lives. Oilers right now can't be trusted in this kind of price range, in my opinion. So, like I said, it's a situation here for me where I'm interested here in Calgary at this price. Pickard in net for Edmonton. We're likely going to get our guy hungry like the wolf, Dustin Wolf, for the Calgary Flames. And not only is it McDavid and Draisaitl, keep your eye on the status of Ekholm. Ekholm didn't play against Seattle, and obviously that's their best defenseman, certainly one of their best shutdown defensemen. And if he's missing too, there's a very vulnerable price range to be putting Edmonton out there here tonight. Alex, what do you think here, Calgary, Edmonton?
Yeah, I'm just seeing the confirmation. So it is Pickard in net. Here's the lines for Oilers morning skate. Picolzin, Draisaitl, Arvidsson, line 1. Skinner, Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, line 2. Jones, Henrique, Kapanen, line 3. Vander Kane, Janmark, Brown, 4th line. Wallman, Bouchard, Nurse, Stetcher, Kulak, Emberson. So no Perry, no Ekholm, no Klingberg, no Skinner on the ice for Edmonton. So this is one where I would take Calgary. There's a plus 155 still available at FanDuel. I'd say run, don't walk to grab that. But I like Calgary in this spot here at this price. More than likely with Wolf and net too. This is an Edmonton team you can't back at laying this kind of a price. I know Battle of Alberta. I get all that. This is a game where Edmonton should be fired up, but like I said, they need there's bigger fish to fry down the road. They need to be more worried about a few weeks from now rather than tonight. So this is a spot where Calgary should take advantage.
I would agree with that, no doubt. Like I said, this is just this jumped off the page at me right away. Like Edmonton, with everything they're going through right now with injuries, and like I said, that Seattle game. And I know at some point you can't keep losing, and they're not going to like the way they played against Seattle the other night. But you also have to keep everybody healthy and remember that the eyes are on the prize. I mean, I don't think they're going to flip out that they've lost a few games here. They got to keep everyone healthy, and this is a team that was one win away from the Stanley Cup last year. There's just bigger aspirations on the line than winning a game on March 29th against Calgary, even though it is your rival. So, like I said, we'll see how it goes. It's funny, this total went from 5.5 to 6, and Calgary, believe it or not, has had a few overs lately. I'm not going there with the over here, but I get it. And Edmonton defensively is kind of lost right now, especially without Ekholm. They've been giving up goals, so I could see it. But I just like
the series history dictated that move. I'm sure you're going to have money come in on the over anyway because it's the Battle of Alberta.
Yeah, I might sprinkle on the over small, but I like Calgary primarily here in this one against the Edmonton Oilers. And Connor Zary, by the way, is day-to-day, and we thought maybe it'll be more severe than it was, that injury, but like I said, it looked gruesome at the time for Calgary when he got hurt the other night against Dallas. All right, speaking of Dallas and Seattle. Dallas minus 140, road favorites, 6 the total. Pretty much across the board. This number is taking a hit. Lots of Seattle money rolling in here for this game, even though there's no injuries for Dallas other than the usuals, Heiskanen and Seguin. But a lot of money coming in here. I think it's because of the spot. It's been a lot of road games this week. They went through Alberta, Edmonton, and Calgary on a back-to-back, ended up winning both of those games, Dallas, although they had to survive. I think people see, too, that Dallas a little bit phony in both games because Edmonton outplayed them for a good stretch of that game. And then Calgary, they got outshot, 48-17. So Dallas didn't exactly carry the play in either game against the Alberta teams, but they come away 2-0 and winning both games, not just winning both games, winning them both in regulation. So, I don't know if I loved Seattle against Edmonton because of the fact that, Edmonton's just depleted right now. This is going to be tougher for Seattle, but I get it. Certainly it's been a long road trip. Seattle, playing with a little spunk the other night. I got to see it, though, against a better team. That being said, we say better team, but Dallas is letting other teams kind of carry play against them over and over again. It's happening. And eventually you're not going to get away with it. So maybe this is a crazy draw situation, maybe. Could it be? I mean, these games haven't been easy for Dallas here this week, and we did see at least a little bit of a prideful effort from Seattle against Edmonton. We'll see, but like I said, this one not a strong opinion for me pregame. Alex, what do you think here? Stars Kraken.
Yeah, it's not going to be much for me in the late night hour without the two games in this range. So this one's a pass for me.
Yeah, I mean, other than some props, Thomas Harley props, because they've been good, obviously, and they've been cashing with regularity. No question for both of these teams, really. But so I could look in that direction. Certainly, I'd be interested as far as props there on the Dallas side. Wyatt Johnston, talk about how good he is, but he's even at his best when he scores in bunches. He's got the capability, I should say, to score in bunches. So again, keep an eye on Wyatt Johnston. But certainly he's heating up again for the Dallas Stars going into this game. So keep an eye on that. For Seattle, I think there was someone I was interested in as far as props go on their side. Let me just double check here. Oh, yeah, Yanni Newman for the Seattle Kraken. And we've talked about him. He's been pretty good as far as generating chances at the very least. His offensive production did kind of slow down there for a little bit. But like I said, certainly interested here. Duchesne's been solid. Johnston, no question. Wyatt Johnston is someone to go with, no doubt. Like I said, there's some good props here in this particular game to keep an eye on here for Dallas and Seattle. All right, final game of this Saturday card as we wind it down here. We've got the New York Rangers and San Jose. The Rangers are a minus 160 favorite. Yes, that's right. Somehow. Well, it's because they're playing in San Jose. That's why. The total here sitting at pretty much 6 across the board. I'm on the San Jose Sharks here. It paid off for me last night. Rangers laying a price that is, ridiculous. Now, this is less ridiculous because this is San Jose, one of the worst teams in the NHL. But we did see San Jose beat Toronto the other night and play pretty hard, play pretty inspired hockey, that young group against the Leafs. And to me, this is the Rangers, who are just a mess, and a Rangers team that can't get out of their own way, and a Rangers team that just blew it in the third period big time last night against the Anaheim Ducks. And this is my new rule. We fade the Rangers whenever they're laying a price like this the rest of the season. Win or lose, I think you're going to win more often than not. And look, I like the effort I saw from San Jose. And by the way, as much as I know that we're going to get likely Alexander Georgiev in net here for San Jose, and I'm not a big fan, obviously, I've said that over and over. Jonathan Quick will likely start for the Rangers because it's a back-to-back. But this is actually Georgiev's first team, the Rangers. So for one night, Georgiev, play a little bit better. Actually, to be honest with you, he played pretty solid against Toronto. I know he gave up, the lead there, 5 goals he still allowed, but he made a couple of big saves there in overtime against Toronto to get that game to a shootout against the Leafs the other night. So, yeah, he's going to end up, I think, playing. There'll be a little extra pep in his step, a little bit extra adrenaline. Maybe, does it make him a better goalie? Maybe, maybe not. It is Georgiev after all. But I think the fact that he started his career with the Rangers, you're playing them tonight, maybe it gets him to step up just a little bit more. But that's neither here nor there. The point of all this is the Rangers are minus 160 on the road, and that's not a price I have any faith in with them right now. And that alone is enough for me to take a shot here with San Jose, like I did last night with Anaheim. Alex, what do you think here, Rangers Sharks?
Well, I'm just going to wish you luck and hope that you cash your plus 140 ticket with San Jose, because I'm not betting anything in this game.
Yeah, I know. It's San Jose. They're not exactly one that we fully trust either, but this is more so that the Rangers at this price are not.
Oh, yeah.
Me.
Oh, it's a bad price for the Rangers. And like I said,
Yeah.
it's just a spot where we could see the Sharks stand up and get a victory, especially at home. But I don't need to jump in on it.
I get it. It's pretty rough either both ways here with this game. There are some props though that stand out here. William Eklund's been really solid. He was really good the other night in the game against Toronto. William Eklund. So see if he can continue to answer the bell here for this San Jose Sharks team. But I like what I've seen from him in some recent games. So keep an eye on William Eklund. Will Smith, is someone that, like I said, has been solid as well for San Jose. For the New York Rangers, I will say this, even in the loss last night, it was nice at least to see, Lafreniere chip in, Zibanejad, and obviously JT Miller. What would they do without JT Miller? He's been absolutely outstanding for this Rangers team. 3-game point streak for him, 3-game point streak for Lafreniere for the Rangers, 3-game point streak for Eklund, as I mentioned. So props probably in the worth taking for those guys. Miller on a 3-game goal streak, as is William Eklund for San Jose. So there's definitely a couple of players that are worth a look. No question about it. Barclay Goodrow, that's true. It's a former team angle there for him in this game. So like I said, there's some good props actually here with this Rangers and Sharks game. It could be a goal fest too. I mean, it would be another over lean for me. I know Jonathan likes San Jose team total over 2.5. That's probably the way to go. If you like San Jose too, we trust them more to score than to defend. So it would be one of these deals where the San Jose bet might be split between money line and team total for me here in this game. All right, that's a wrap. Great stuff. Great Saturday card. Looking forward to it. Hit the like button. We appreciate everyone joining us here for this edition of the Ice Guys show. And a reminder, we made the announcement yesterday on the show. We'll just reiterate it now that we do have our Ice Guys live betcast schedule for the remainder of the regular season here in April. And we've got a bunch of betcasts coming your way. Next Thursday, April the 3rd, Tuesday, April the 8th, Thursday, April the 10th. Those 3 live betcasts in April They will all be Patreon exclusive live betcasts. So you must be subscribed for $10 per month at patreon.com/iceguys to watch those betcasts and to join us on the stream during those betcasts. And then we'll also have our one free for all public betcast per month coming your way on Tuesday, April the 15th. So that is the betcast schedule for the rest of the regular season. 4 betcasts coming up, 3 of them Patreon exclusive. And to access those Patreon exclusive live betcasts and to get the goalie charts and totals charts and to get the daily cards, sides, totals, player props posted each and every day on the Patreon page, and all the other bonus content, and the access to our live chat room for Patreon members on the page, live wagering, live betting chat room as well. Make sure you sign up. $10 per month, patreon.com/iceguys. Your subscription goes a long way to supporting the show and keeping us going long term. So make sure you sign up. $10 per month, patreon.com/iceguys.
Also, check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. We've got all new merch in the store. We got all kinds of deals and specials coming up throughout the month of April. Every day during the month of April, there will be at least some kind of special, either 20% off or 10% off of 3 items or more. So we will keep you updated with that, but definitely want to check out all the merch. Great time to grab a new cap, a new hoodie, or a new t-shirt right now at the Ice Guys store. That's iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
That's right. And the Patreon betcasts are on YouTube, but only accessible. The YouTube link is only accessible to the Patreon members. Yeah, private link. So only the Patreon members get that link. That's how it works with the Patreon exclusive live betcasts. And we got 3 Patreon exclusive live betcasts from April 3rd to April 10th. 3 in a week, 1 week span. So we're looking forward to that. Plus the free for all betcast on Tuesday, April 15th. So betcast is crazy coming up here to end the regular season. Here in April. All right, we'll be back in a moment with Bargain Bin Special of the Night and Best Bets right after we hear from our great Ice Guys sponsors.
Support for the Ice Guys podcast is provided by Boston Hemp Incorporated, Tailgater Social, and a big thank you to all that subscribe to the Ice Guys Patreon page. This is breaking. Everyone loves a perfect pair. Bacon and eggs. Thunder and lightning. Mario and Luigi. A hot dog with fries. Ian and Alex B. That's right. Everyone loves a perfect pair. So why not pair up your game nights with Boston Hemp? From exotic flower to concentrates and edible products. You'd be hard-pressed to find a better pairing than Boston Hemp and hockey. Check them out today at bostonhempinc.com. That's bostonhempinc.com. Boston Hemp Incorporated, the official smoke sponsor of the Ice Guys. Void where prohibited by law. Not available outside of the United States. Must be 21 or over to obtain products. Check your local regulations to see if Boston Hemp is available in your area.
Hey, Ian, I got to tell you about this app I've been using lately called Kalshi. Kalshi.com. Did you know it's the only place where you can trade on March Madness in all 50 U.S. states?
I have heard about this, actually. Kalshi is the first and only legal prediction market that lets you trade on real-world events with the look and feel of stock trading, whether it's who will win elections, who will win the Grammy or Oscar awards, or what the price of Bitcoin will hit this year. you can bet you trade on just about anything on Kalshi.
With over 1 million users across all 50 states and over $1 billion worth of trades, Kalshi is an absolute game changer. And with March Madness coming to a close, baseball about to get in the full swing, playoffs on the horizon in hockey and basketball, now's the time to sign up to trade with Kalshi today.
Sign up at kalshi.com/iceguys, and the first 500 traders to join and trade 100 contracts, you will get a free $10 credit added to your account. So don't miss out on all the action. Join Kalshi today at kalshi.com/iceguys. That's kalshi.com/iceguys. Shout out to all our great sponsors, including Boston Hemp Inc. 20% off all orders on the website using the promo code IceGuys at bostonhempinc.com, and Kalshi trading platform. People want to bet more than just sports or trade on more than just sports. Make sure you check it out, kalshi.com/iceguys. Great platform. All right, bargain bin special of the night for this Saturday. Huge card, obviously. Lots to select from. Alex, bargain bin special. What do you got?
Yeah, let's head to the Motor City. You got ABC national TV game, Original Six matchup, Boston Bruins, Detroit Red Wings. Red Wings fighting for their playoff lives. They need a win. They need energy. They need it early. And who better to deliver the first goal of the game than Sir Patrick Kane? You can get him at 16-1 right now at DraftKings, 13-1 at FanDuel and MGM. I think he's going to be part of that group. Like I said, that line's been hot with him and Larkin and DeBrincat. I think he's going to be able to pop the first goal of the game there. 16-1. That's Sir Patrick Kane of the Red Wings. My bargain bin special for Saturday night.
There you go. And he's been good, Alex, with these first goal props. Had one earlier this week with Jordan Kyrou. Patrick Kane, first goal, Detroit Red Wings. 16-1, the price on that for Alex with his bargain bin special of the night. My bargain bin special of the night, Al, I'm not missing out this time on betting him. David Perron, plus 320, Ottawa Senators. I like it. I think he finds the back of the net against Columbus. He's on a roll. It's a brutal spot for Columbus, coming off that 7-6 win against Vancouver, coming from behind. And obviously, we've got a situation where a little fatigue sets in back-to-back. That was a physically, emotionally exhausting. Not just physically, emotionally exhausting. I was fucking physically and emotionally exhausted watching it. Could you have imagined playing in it last night for the Columbus Blue Jackets? So definitely liking the David Perron. Liking Ottawa to score goals tonight, but I think David Perron is part of that goal-scoring barrage tonight for Ottawa. So David Perron, plus 320 for the Ottawa Senators for my bargain bin special of the night. All right, best bets. Alex, what do you like for best bet?
I wish I could give out first period in the Flyers game. Flyers are up 2-0, by the way, if you were just keeping up 14 minutes into the first.
Bradshaw, man, look out. Yeah. Here they go.
Yeah. We'll see. Anyway, my best bet for the day. It is an afternoon game. It's that St. Louis, Colorado game. I love that over 5.5. You can get minus $1.20 at DraftKings and a couple of other books. I think there's going to be goals here. Like I said, this is two teams who are, playoff quality. I think it's going to be back and forth action all the way through. I know some people like the draw. I wouldn't be shocked to see that as well. But I definitely think we see 6 goals and then some here with the Blues and Avs. That is my Saturday best bet.
There you go. Blues Avs with the over 5.5. I do like that as well. St. Louis, Colorado over 5.5. Best bet for Alex B. Smith for this Saturday slate. My best bet for this Saturday card. Let me just see here. Let's go with a side. We don't do many sides. I'm a bet just because I'm usually stronger historically with totals, and it's that way in every sport. But I honestly think this is one of the best bets on the board. The Calgary Flames getting that kind of a price against the Edmonton Oilers. Edmonton is showing signs of really not giving a shit about winning here. It's about let's keep everyone healthy. Let's rest guys. We were 1 win away from a Stanley Cup last year. We want to get back there this year. We're not that. I don't even think they're going balls to the wall to make sure they get home ice over LA in the first round. So I definitely think this is a spot here for the Calgary Flames off a frustrating loss to Dallas to be a very live dog here against a vulnerable favorite like the Edmonton Oilers, who are depleted right now. So let's go with the the Calgary Flames as a nice sized road underdog here tonight, and we will take Calgary here in this game Let me just see what the best price is on it here. Best price with Calgary plus 156. So a really great price there. Calgary Flames plus 156. Let's go with a big dog best bet here for this Saturday NHL card. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button on the way out. We appreciate it very much. And again, a great show, a great Saturday card ahead. And we're definitely excited about it all, including, again, 4 betcasts coming up at the end of the regular season here in the month of April as well. Also very much excited about that. So including the next one being Thursday, April the 3rd, next Thursday, Patreon exclusive live betcast. So make sure you join us for that. And shout out to everyone in the chat. We appreciate all of you guys, of course, for joining us every single day. Hit the like button on the way out. We're off to a great start here with this Flyers game. Perfect start. Just what the doctor ordered to hopefully a big day ahead. So make sure you sign up. And I get people asking too about the player suite. We definitely have stuff on the radar and stuff that we plan on doing with certain. But again, we got to have the people available to do it.
Right.
So that's what we're waiting on. We just got to, it's not always easy to get availability with certain guests for the player suite, but we will have plenty more. Trust me, player suite shows. Player suite interviews once we get into the playoffs and certainly in the off season once again as well. So
and
definitely look
one more
forward to
note
that.
too, for those who signed up to Patreon, I really advise getting the Patreon app, having notifications turned on as well, because that's the thing with the live bets. There's no way we can really time. Like we can only give you frames. Like for example, I can just give you a frame of games I'm looking at live tonight: New Jersey, Minnesota, Boston, Detroit, and more like the Calgary, Edmonton in the late game. So those are the things we can give you a frame of, pre-game. But if we have live bets, we'll just be throwing them in there. There's no really kind of notification. So download the Patreon app if you're a Patreon member, and try to be a little quick with jumping in whenever we have live wagers, or anyone for that matter in the chat has live wagers.
Yeah, exactly. Patreon app is great for all the Patreon members. You get notifications, and it's just a great way to go about it when you're a Patreon member. All right, Ice Guys, 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms. For Alex B. Smith, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will be back with you tomorrow on Sunday, noon Eastern, for another edition of the Ice Guys.